All right, so welcome to another episode. Today we're going to take a look at Home Depot as it continues to sell off here after earnings. Now, keep in mind, it's not a recommendation, buy, sell, or trade, just my opinion. And if you want to grab my opinion, you can do so on our Discord channel. Just go ahead, scroll down, link in the description below. You can click it, and that way you can see some of the announcements and things that we have going on there on the channel. Now, anyway, I want to take a look here at Home Depot here for you guys. And when we go in and you can see the news, it just kind of whips you around all over the place. You got saying Home Depot beats estimates, so retailer says it's a sales growth ahead for 2022. This one was posted 5 hours ago. Then you see 4 hours ago, stock rises as investors cheer earnings beat and dividend hike. So, they're obviously going to do a dividend thing. And then, all of a sudden then it's drilled after earnings 1 hour ago. So it's why it's important to let the stock kind of digest the earnings for a couple of days. Usually I say 3 to 5 days to, really getting a good insight on what's going on, what's happening. So anyway, if you check this out and you start looking at the chart, you can see the stock is pulling down, almost 6-7%, $23 a share. And when you start evaluating this, you can see, man, we were a little bit toppy here, right? So you got some swing lows here on the bottom. And if you look at this ABCD pattern here recently, this ABCD pattern can push that stock a lot lower. You can see the selling pressure was building quite a bit and the volume on the upside was very weak. So this right now, pressing this higher, then trying to go higher on lighter volume. And now we're picking up speed again on the sell side. So I think this will probably continue for a little while. If you kind of go and just measure the move, so we go from, let's say, here to here. That's about a 75-point move. So from the highs here down to about 75 points will put us, let's see where it will put us. So if we go here, about 75 points, we're going to be down into, look at that, how that magically comes right into about a $300 price point. It comes right into here. So that ABCD pattern created can press this stock down to about 300. So that's a little bit of an issue, because right now this stock, it is kind of crashing, and you got some massive selling that's coming in, and that's a problem because, well, you don't have the buyers stepping up. So be a little bit more mindful here as you watch this chart. The stock is quite extended. From a technical perspective, you could also say, hey, we were going, and we're breaking this level. So this is where I think the 300 could be a nice level for a possible bounce. And it's still a little whiles away from that. It's another 23 points or so away. So this pullback here is fairly significant, and I think you need to either watch where you're positioned on this or watch the hedge. Because just like with anything, if you take a look at Facebook, just because it, pulled back here the first day, just watch all this action afterward. Look at Netflix. We went into here the first day. You had a few, you had a little pop here with some of the news of, big investors coming in, but then again, selling off. So there's a lot of weakness in the marketplace, and you need to be a little bit more mindful right here, where as we're pressing here, now we're going down, we got a big downward bar, and then we could pop a little bit, but then, we could sizzle, because that's just what the market's doing lately. So anyway, I'm not saying Home Depot can't do something different than the rest of the market, but this is just a weakness. And if you look at the measured move on the ABCD pattern right here, that brings it back to precisely or very close to that 300 level, which is also a support back here in June, and that lines it up quite nicely. So it's kind of weird how all those things line up like that. So be a little bit more careful and just watch out, because this one could continue to press into some lower prices, and that could really continue the sell-off pressure for a little while. I'm not saying you can't get a few pops. I'm not saying you can't fill this gap right here. But it may just take time for that thing to kind of push down, because there's just a lot of selling pressure here, and just overall Home Depot and just those stocks have been priced for perfection. They've, there's a lot of overbought conditions from lumber prices being high over the last year or so. And those things probably will start easing off with time. I mean, they just can't stay up forever. So with time, they just slowly will dwindle. And the same thing with stock prices. Yeah, they were high for a while. And this is where this stock made some massive moves. I mean, we were down into this 250 range in 2021. Just look at that move, accelerated. So now we're getting back into more realistic level. So if you just kind of look at the growth from multi-year growth, it's still not bad. It's just you're not way back up at the 400. Now, if you bought at the 400, it probably doesn't feel as good. But, if you were kind of like a long-term investor and you bought around, let's say 275 and now you're at 323, it's still pretty nice, right? So anyway, just thought I'd share with you some of that insight. Thank you so much for joining me. Feel free to check out the Discord channel. Actually, I'll show you a quick link on the Discord channel here and just some of the stuff that we do. You can take a look. There's some charts that are posted. We do some communications. There's some stock movers that I'll post from time to time. So definitely check that out. And you can also look at the Traders Fly website where I've got some live classes coming up, and we've got another one here tonight starting on risk arrays and managing risk through capital allocations. That's a lot on option trading as well. So anyway, check out the option trading channel, Traders Fly. This is my secondary channel for just technical analysis and some charts. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope to see you here soon in the future.